My wife and I got married when we were both in our early 20s, and it had been 2 years since then. She really wanted to become a mom and would tell me about it all the time. She started getting into this open-minded way of thinking, influenced by things she saw on TikTok. She'd share stuff about open marriages and podcasts discussing the idea. After talking a lot about it, I eventually agreed to give it a try. She believed we should experience an open marriage before settling down and having kids. We set some rules for this experiment. We decided not to have unprotected intimacy, not to bring anyone home, and no staying overnight elsewhere. If either of us was intimate with someone else, we wouldn't share details, and we'd avoid physical contact with each other for 30 days. Before we could be intimate again, we both had to get a clean bill of health from the doctor. With these rules, we started our open marriage journey. My wife began going on dates on Friday nights, which worked well for us because I often worked late and got home around 10 p.m. Initially, it felt like an exciting adventure. She'd come back from her dates, share what happened, and we'd be intimate. These were just dates, with no intimacy involved. I also tried going on dates, but they didn't go well. Once the women I met found out I was married and in an open relationship, they lost interest. Things took a painful turn one Friday night, when my wife came home at 3 a.m. She mentioned feeling sore and tired, and I noticed hickey marks on her chest and thighs. It hurt me a lot, and I felt upset. The next Monday or Tuesday, she wanted physical intimacy, but I reminded her of our rule, the 30-day waiting period after being intimate with others. She was shocked, but I was serious about sticking to the rules. This became a pattern. She'd go out on Fridays, have her fun, and then spend the week trying to convince me to change rule number 3. It felt like she put me on a shelf while enjoying her new relationship energy. To cope, I started distancing myself, spending more time working, being away from home, and getting more active to deal with my emotions. After enduring 5 months of feeling like I was not a priority in our marriage, I reached a point where I couldn't see a good reason to stay in the relationship. It felt like I was giving up my happiness so she could be happy in her new situation, and I didn't have much left to give. Even though she hadn't broken any of our agreed-upon rules, every time I suggested she should step back from her new partner, she dismissed it, saying it was just harmless fun. The strain on our relationship was getting too much, and I knew things needed to change. As time went on, our relationship kept falling apart. My concerns were brushed off, with my wife insisting I was overreacting about her new relationship being just harmless fun. Our 4th wedding anniversary became a painful turning point. I took the day off to make her dinner and clean the house, hoping to celebrate. But when she came home, she said she was going to a bar to see a band and asked me not to wait up. I later found out she had completely forgotten our anniversary, breaking our 2nd rule of not sleeping over at someone else's place. I sent her a text expressing my disappointment and letting her know she broke our rule. I also told her I was done. She responded at 11:30, apologizing and claiming she accidentally passed out. I didn't want to talk about it, but she showed up at my workplace before we opened, causing a scene. We agreed to discuss things on Sunday. When I got home from work, she tried to be intimate, but I reminded her of rule number 3. She then said she would stop seeing her new partner and wanted to close the marriage, focusing on reconnecting with me. It seemed like she changed her mind, maybe realizing her mistake. She made daily efforts to be intimate, but our connection was damaged. After the 30-day waiting period, she went to the doctor and confirmed she was healthy. However, she had a shocking announcement. She was pregnant. My response to her news was unexpected. After I told her that I wished her and her new partner happiness, she got confused and started crying. A few days later, she texted her new partner about the pregnancy, and he had a cold response, suggesting she tell everyone it's my child. That's when I decided it was time to file for divorce. Even though she tried everything, making promises, begging, and offering anything to fix things, I couldn't change my mind. We had to live together until our lease was up, and it became awkward. She kept trying to be intimate, but I always said no. My resentment grew, along with her growing baby bump. It was a painful time, and I hoped we could both move on separately from the hurt of our failed open marriage. Things got even more complicated 3 weeks ago. She came into my room with pizza, excited about being pregnant. She tried to be intimate again, but I had enough and told her bluntly that I wasn't interested. I suggested she try finding someone else. She left in tears. Around the same time, we had a divorce hearing, and the judge ordered us to go to 6 weeks of marriage counseling. It felt pointless, like they were just gathering our stories separately. I just wanted it to be over so we could move on. My birthday was coming up, and she wanted to celebrate, but I declined, still upset about our disastrous 4th anniversary. She kept pushing, and I lost my temper, telling her I don't waste special occasions on her. Leaving her in tears, I went to work, saying I'd see her on Monday for counseling. Monday came, but she never showed up for counseling. I tried reaching her and her family, but no one responded. Turns out, she got arrested on Sunday for driving under the influence. Surprisingly, I offered my house for her family to stay, and my lawyers rushed to finalize the divorce, which happened last Friday. Yesterday, I helped pack up some of her things, and today, I'm helping load a U-Haul they rented. She's supposed to be released tomorrow, and her family's taking her back home. She wants to see me, but I feel like it might not be good for either of us. This has been a tough time for both of us, filled with emotions, problems, and bad choices. It's clear we need to find a way to move on and start healing and rebuilding our lives separately. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the like button and subscribe for more stories.